Hey guys, hope you're well. Today we're going to be studying Jesse Rodriguez's amateur days. This fight in particular is against Ryan Garcia's brother Sean Garcia. So two southpaws against each other. We're just going to watch the first round. You obviously have Jesse Bam Rodriguez in the blue, so in the center of the ring right now, and Sean Garcia on the outside in the red. Okay, so let's get into it. So if we watch this, the first thing that we're going to see is Jesse Bam Rodriguez's great lead hand defense. You can see him feinting in and out of range, cutting off the ring well, turning over his parry hand, trying to come in with his two-punch combinations, whilst he's defending the lead hand of Garcia. Just as you can see, he moves around to the left and right. So if we take just a little look back on that, you can see Rodriguez in the center here, just turning over his parry hand whilst he jabs out to simultaneously jab. Now, obviously, he's got the reach disadvantage in this fight, but he's trying to close the distance anyway and is not giving up on his jab just because he has one in front of him with more reach. So as you can see, he's stepping around to the left, keeping his guard high, staying very bladed. He then shuffles in before throwing this two-punch combination, but just gets caught in the middle. Now, I will say this has happened a couple of times already so far. Stepping in with two-punch combinations can be very tricky to land as a smaller fighter. And the reason is you only have one setup punch from long range before stepping into your second, which makes it easier to read if you're the taller opponent on the outside. So as you can see, Garcia's just moving around to his right with his lead hand, using his jab and his hook. Rodriguez is correctly defending that with a parry, a block, and then a little level change feint as he cuts off the ring even more. Shuffles to his right once Garcia changes direction, and is going to try to look for this counter with the parry before coming out with a hook, but just gets caught in between for loading up. Now they're on the inside and they go for this wrestling here. If you've watched this full fight, Sean Garcia is very, very rough on the inside with Bam. But anyway, let's keep watching. So here off the clinch, we're going to see the first initial exchange, which Bam gets the better of, then uses some excellent defense and feints coming forwards before coming in with this sort of five-punch attack. Now, if we look at this, Garcia tries for this very good three-punch combination where he's going 1, 2, and 3, which hits around to the chest. Rodriguez is trying to slip and come up with the uppercut hook, which I think kind of lands on the chest, which moves Garcia back. And then he's going to feint coming forward again. And look at these aggressive defensive feints that he's using. He's using a parry, then he's level changing in, ducking under the right hook, slipping inside to look for a counter, which makes Garcia back up even more, stepping back out of range safely just to make sure he's not pressuring too close. And then from here, instead of a two-punch combination, he's going to go step in with a feint touch jab and then 2 over the top before coming in with this 1. Now, none of these have landed, but he's backed up Garcia into the ropes and now is going to go for a 1, 2 over the top and a 3 as he ducks under. So if we look back on that, it's just a gradual backing up of Garcia to get him into the ropes to land this combination. Now here Garcia hasn't locked in his clinch, so Bam uses a couple of short shots just to get some points. Referee tells them off, they break away and they're back at long range. You see Bam trying to close the distance with body shots before going in for these close range combinations here, really putting pressure on Garcia. So let's see how he set those up. So the first thing he does is he shuffles in with his high guard, slips low and level changes into this left hook to the body. Really nice. Even if Garcia is in a bladed position, then he slips on the inside the other way, tries for this right hook to the body, though Garcia correctly steps back. Now he's just being patient, using some wonderful slip looks as he enters, and then just very intentfully swings this left hook and right hook to the body as he closes the distance, and then tries for this left hook over the top. He's a little bit close, but he turns it into a frame and tries to pull him into this right hook. Now he's keeping on the pressure, shuffling immediately after, feinting when he's back in, using some slip looks again, rolling under the lead hand before coming up with this wonderful right hook and then this left hand over the top, but gets caught just in the middle again of this two-punch combination. Now the most important thing that I'm noticing here is the intent that he has on these hooks. If he's this confident to do it in the first round, he's obviously well conditioned, and the entries into close range into these wide hooks are just incredibly aggressive as well as effective in making your opponent tire out, especially at this level where volume means so much. So anyway, after this left hand, they get pulled down and then they reset again and then they get back into it. Bam starts with his close range work again, working the body, working the hooks up top, really making it uncomfortable at close range for Garcia, which makes him want to clinch. And if you want a showing of what intent really looks like, it's this level change here, which is so harsh, and then boom, this rotation into this left hook to the body, leaves it there, works the other side with this double left hook, then a left hook over the top. Doesn't matter if it lands on the gloves here. He just wants to hit his opponent so hard, and it translates into his powerful technique. And as you can see, he's just been hit whilst his base was square. But what does he do? He goes straight back into it, level changes with his hard feint. As you can see, his left shoulder is pulled all the way back and then boom, swings it forward. And even if that lands on the arms, that's going to hurt. Garcia tries to smother forward. Bam trying to pick him off at close range with these smaller shots. They back away from each other, create some space. Bam immediately sees the opening and tries to go for this uppercut. Again, a little bit dangerously since he was about to get clipped square on there, but he doesn't. He then goes for this pretty safe jab to the body, and then credit to Garcia because he's using a wonderful high guard look here to bait in Rodriguez and then hooks him over the top as he enters into his range, but he does get caught himself as well. You see this shuffle feint from Bam Rodriguez where he just shuffles and changes his level super hard, back up into his high guard, and then just defending the jabs, trying to use some defense as he moves forwards, but then gets caught with this left hand here. They're back into this clinch. Sean's going to get very aggressive here and just kind of push him back into the ropes like this. But then they reset and you can see Bam's intention straight away is to use some slip looks as he comes in, use his setup jab to the body while he's changing his level, and then shoot this double hook to the body as he enters into close range, pushes off a little bit. Really nice setup here into body hooks, and you can only really do it if your step in is going to be very explosive. Now here he backs away a little bit and Sean manages to catch him with this hook over the top, then trying to use some long range combinations as Bam enters into close range. But Bam manages to block a little bit whilst he enters, and then they get into this very long clinch position. It's a very, very scrappy round. I mean, unfortunately, the rounds after this were even worse. But that being said, you're going to have to expect a lot of this in amateur fights, so maybe it's not such a bad thing to watch it. Here, Bam finally has some space and then tries to land this uppercut twice, but it doesn't really go through, and then they turn each other into the ropes. Now, if you want a little lesson from this, Usyk says that 1 or 2 days a week in his camps, he always does wrestling training. Now, I'm not saying that to learn how to wrestle in your amateur fights. I'm saying that so that you can not be shocked by the amount of energy used whilst you're wrestling. Because I see it very often when people wrestle in their amateur fights or in sparring, and then suddenly they haven't felt this tired before. It's a very taxing thing to do. So it's worth sometimes just training it a little bit in order to get a little bit more used to the energy it takes out of you. Anyway, let's watch these last couple of exchanges. You see a extremely aggressive Bam Rodriguez now, almost angry, and he's working both sides of the hooks, feinting in and out of range, and that's the end of the round. Now, if we watch that back a little bit, he jumps in with this up jab here just to set up this offline left hand. Sean's done the same thing, so he does catch him on the way in. Rodriguez is kind of seeing red here. He sees Sean in this super vulnerable offline position and starts to go to work with this hook over the top, then turns it into a frame, sets up this hook to the body, pushes him again off with the front glove, creates a little bit of space with a step back, and then is super bladed, working both sides, really wonderful shots, and then steps back with the lead hand frame again, postures him up in order to land this left hook, and then tries for this double right hook around. Sean's exited and tried to go into long range now. Bam's going to feint the jab coming in, and then step out of range once he knows the counter's coming, then steps back in with another feint, makes Garcia super reactive, and then just steps out again. Really wonderful work in order to make Garcia waste his energy, as well as create that fear and doubt in his mind of whether Bam Rodriguez is entering or not. Anyway, really nice work. I really hope you enjoyed that. Just a short one today. We'll do an amateur fight of Shakur Stevenson next. So yeah, I look forward to that. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Happy training.